Hello, welcome back to the channel, Internet Strangers, and today we're going to be talking about Lord of the Fallen's new update, Master of Fate, my bad. We have an overview trailer by IGN, no less. As always, links in the description, and while you're down there, might as well hit that subscribe because we're trying to hit 200 subs before the end of the month. And with that being said, let's begin. Version 1.5, Master.
Hello, fellow Lambetters. Saul here. After the culmination of our 3.5 years of passion, we launched Lords of the Fallen, our debut game at Hexworks. We were truly humbled when we saw that in just over a week, there were already over 1 million of you embarking upon the Wall of Mordstead. Your belief in our vision has been our driving force. Today, we'd like to take the opportunity to share some insights on our transformative new update that will redefine your future playthroughs. We take immense pride in Lords of the Fallen, being amongst the first ever games to launch on Unreal Engine 5, and the very first action RPG to do so. It is in part thanks to this amazing technology that we were able to overlay 2 parallel worlds on top of each other, with the abilities.
I will 100% admit that having 2 worlds stacked on top of each other, incredibly impressive. Having one of the first games to be running on Unreal Engine 5, action RPGs to be running on Unreal Engine 5, extremely impressive. However, that does not delete the amount of technical issues that came with the game on launch. I played the game, I've beaten it twice, I did enjoy it. It's actually one of my first reviews I've ever done. However, when the game launched, there was a lot of issues. I hit like the single digit frames. Yeah, it was that bad. Enemy density was way too intense. And overall, it was a terrible experience. I ended up dropping the game until a couple of updates happened. And then I got back into it, and that's when I finished it.
Switch instantly between them both. We wanted to bring something entirely new and innovative to the genre. Something that would provide a unique twist. That said, this innovation, coupled with a brand new game engine, meant we were navigating completely uncharted territory from a technical standpoint. Furthermore,
It is an uncharted territory for them. However, I do not think it's an excuse for how the game came out. What they should have done is have a smaller world, since you're working on tech that you don't completely know. Have a smaller world, maybe a little bit more linear, maybe a little less open. Have hub areas instead of a giant interconnected dungeon. Make it smaller and polish it. And then if you want in the future, you can add an expansion, add a new area, something like that. You should always prioritize polishing the game over how big the game is. That's my opinion, but I think it's the correct opinion.
We aspire to elevate the genre's prevailing online multiplayer mechanic with our seamless co-op mode. In contrast to other games in the genre, players stay together after defeating a boss for as long as they desire. While a full co-op campaign was beyond our original.
That's something I really appreciated about the game. How, I remember the first time I played co-op and I died. I was like, God, now I have to wait to find another person that's in the same area as me, that's willing to fight this boss, and then I'm gonna die again. I'm gonna have to find another character, and then I died. And just like that, my ally was still with me. And I think that's a great thing. I think it's a great idea. I am certain that the Soul series has lost a lot of players because the co-op is so hard to do. There's a lot of unnecessary steps for the co-op, and the fact that Lords of the Fallen has made it very streamlined and very easy has definitely helped out with the longevity of the game.
Scope, we firmly believe that this stands as one of the very best multiplayer experiences currently available within the action RPGs.
That's fair.
Despite our best efforts, some people experienced unforeseen technical issues when Lords of the Fallen first launched, and you rightfully brought it up to our attention. We've taken your feedback very seriously and acted as swiftly as possible to bring the game in line with our vision. We've released over 30 updates to address gameplay feedback and all technical hiccups, which in many cases only occurred on very specific PC hardware. As a result, we are delighted to confirm that the likelihood of any in-game crash is now less than 1.
You know, it says a lot about a developer who's like, hey, we put out a game, you guys told me this needed to be fixed. We fixed it. You know, they didn't whine about it. They didn't complain about it. They weren't like, oh, you guys don't like the game because you guys don't know what a good game is. Nah, they took it on the chin and they're like, hey man, let's improve the game. We have a game that we like and we want you to play it. This is what you don't like about the game? Let me fix it for you. Do you like it now? Yes. Do you want to keep playing? Yes. You want to have some potential paid for DLC in the future? Yes. I'm just saying.
1%. Save game hitches have been fully resolved and frame rate has been significantly improved across all platforms. Likewise, our online multiplayer experience is now more stable and more responsive than ever has been. In light of the game's enduring popularity, we made the decision to expand its period of live support, and in early November, revealed an ambitious post-launch roadmap, encompassing several significant content updates alongside with continuous smaller releases. We've added tons of new content, like new armors, new
I haven't
weapons,
played any of the new content.
bosses, new quests, and we've also taken the opportunity to address the most popular user feedback. Enemy density has been reduced.
I remember.
Boss difficulty.
I remember that. I remember playing and I was like, God, there's so many ads on screen. I kept dying because of the artificial difficulty. Like it's not the game's not hard. It's just there's so many enemies. There's so many of them and I'm being like swarmed. And like the game shines best when you're by yourself, when it's a 1v1. That's when the game shines the most because that's what the combat was made for. And you're gonna swarm me like with 12, 15, maybe not 15 enemies, but it was like an insane amount of enemies. It was way too much. And then they dropped it, but like a noticeable amount, and it was very nice. Like I really appreciated it.
It has been increased and we've added numerous quality of life improvements. I'm pleased to say that the Lords of the Fallen experience is the best it's ever been, and it's about to get even better. I'm delighted to introduce the final stage of the Lords of the Fallen free content roadmap, the Master of Fate update.
Whether you purged the 5 beacons in the name of Aureus, reveled in their Rogar corruption as the champion of Adir, or even sided with the all-consuming entity
I still need to get
otherwise
that
known
ending.
as
I
the
don't have it.
Umbral Mother, a brand new and totally unique game experience now awaits those who've completed Lords of the Fallen. Forge your own destiny with the Master of Fate update, which introduces
A
fully
roguelike
fledged new
experience.
game modifier system, empowering players to completely customize subsequent playthroughs of Lords of the Fallen. Adjust mob density, randomize loot
Could you
drops and
imagine if they
enemy
put a
types,
roguelite? That'd
and
be
even
pretty cool.
enable permadeath with the Iron Man modifier for an all-new
I'm
roguelite
good.
challenge for only the most battle-hardened of Crusaders. These new gameplay
Observation hockey. Enough said.
modifiers are completely optional and can be applied to either the New Game Plus or Reset World option you're presented with when completing an initial playthrough. You're free to
I wonder if you
select
keep
as
your
many
items
as you
in
want, with
Reset
multiple
World.
configurations guaranteed to result in some truly unique experiences. Plus, there's new achievements for all new gameplay features. And fear not, you'll always have the option to reset the world at any vestige, in case you were a little too ambitious in
That's
your
good.
choices.
That's very good.
So, let's take a look at the options.
It's like you shouldn't add a bunch of unnecessary steps to gameplay to just like. I understand that some games want to be edgy and different and make things feel a little bit more like analog, for a lack of better words. But like in Elden Ring, the only way you can change your you can respec you have to beat Renala? I think Renala? You have to beat the Moon Lady, and then you can give her the Larva Tears. Before then, you cannot change your class. I, at the time, was playing a spellcaster, and I had the hardest time beating her because I was using magic, and I was also shit at the game. But that's besides the point. And I remember, like, when I finally got it, I was like, bro, like, you could have just had that at a Firelink shrine, or at a bonfire. You could have just had that at a bonfire instead of having it with this NPC, and I have to use this this resource item. And it was okay for Elden Ring, but I did find it annoying after a little while if ever I wanted to experiment with things. So yeah, I think that you should streamline things more often for players.
For players looking to create a one-of-a-kind adventure with every playthrough, the all-new randomizers really turn New Game Plus on its head. In random enemy mode, every encounter will be completely unpredictable, with absolutely any of the 70 plus enemy types able to spawn. Perhaps you'll face a dreaded marauder in the opening hours, or a patrol of skin stealers with but a slither of health remaining. Similarly, with random loot spawns, there's no knowing what...
More games should do this. More games should give more freedom to the player. If, obviously, not all games should do this, but games that can do this should do this. I'm not gonna say it's an easy way from a technical standpoint, but it is an easy way to tremendously increase the longevity of your game's lifespan. An enemy weapon randomizer, like, if you can do this in your game, I highly recommend you do this in your game. In a way that's tasteful, not in a way like Rise of the Ronin, where every weapon, you get like a billion weapons a second, not like that.
What item you'll pick up next. Whether you're opening a chest or soul-flaying an umbral belly, literally any weapon, armor, or one of the other numerous items can be found at any point in the game. Perhaps a super OP dual-handed battle axe lies just around that corner. Though at the same time, there's every chance it'll turn out to be that bottom-of-the-barrel shield. In the RNG gods we trust. And speaking of loot, there's also the pre-upgraded loot modifier, ensuring all weapons, shields, and catalysts found come pre-upgraded based on your player level.
From Software, I hope you guys are watching that, because one of the biggest issues with the Soul series, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, all them games, y'all have the same problem. Once you find a weapon you like and you start upgrading it, that's the weapon you use for the rest of the game, because upgrade material is scarce and you don't want to waste those upgrade materials on a weapon that you might not like. So it stops you from trying, it stops you from experimenting and exploring. Having the option to find a weapon that's already at the correct level, thank you, game. And obviously, like, don't have the option for your first playthrough, but have it as an option for your second playthrough on New Game Plus, something like that. I remember I found a lot of cool weapons. I refused to play with them just because I was like, well, it's pointless. It's 100% pointless because I don't have the upgrade material. So why would I use it?
For the ultimate Get Good challenge, select Iron Man. If slain in Axiom, you'll still resurrect an Umbral for a second chance to survive. But suffer defeat in this nightmarish realm, and that's the end of your adventure. Instead of reviving at a vestige, you'll restart at the very beginning of the game, albeit retaining your player level and items.
Okay, well, you still have your items.
Randomizer, and you've effectively turned Lords of the Fallen into a bona fide roguelite experience.
I'm game. I'd be down to play some roguelike Lords of the Fallen.
By selecting the Withered Healing option, you'll no longer replenish health through normal means. Instead, when you use your Sanguinarix or other consumable to heal, you will only receive Wither, meaning you'll have to play aggressively for any chance of survival. Vestiges are the saving grace for many a Dark Crusader. With the Vestige Decay modifier, you can adjust the number of vestiges you'll encounter in your crusade across Mornstead. Or you can even remove them altogether for the ultimate challenge of endurance. And if all that's not challenging enough, there's the More Enemies modifier, which increases the number of formidable foes you'll encounter throughout a playthrough. So, whether you want to make the game easier, harder, or simply rearrange a few things for an equally unpredictable second, third, or even fourth journey through Mornstead, become a master of Fate with our latest update, available now and free for all owners of Lords of the Fallen.
I am legitimately impressed. I am legitimately impressed with the kind of update they're doing. This was, I think, the second or third review I've done on my channel. And I think I'm going to re-download the game. I might stream a little bit of it. And then I'm going to pop out a Lords of the Fallen 2024 review. That's what we're going to end the video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, be sure to like, favorite, share, and subscribe, because we're trying to hit 300 subs before the end of the month. And if you don't want to help, well, remember, at the end of the day, I'm just some guy on the internet. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. If you want to see more of my face, be sure to click on the video you see on screen right now.